أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد Sadakallahu Azim. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the heathen, nor sitteth in the seat that is scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law I see I dated sunrise and sundown. Him I go dear like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth fat fruit in his season. Him leap never I will wither, and whatsoever him do shall prosper. Yay! The heathen them now, they saw them there like a chaff, which the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go turn upon the judgment of the sinner man them. In the congregation of the righteous for the Lord God Jah. Love the way of the righteous and the way of the sinner man them. Always and always I go perish. Let the people of the Most High God say, Jah! Kadama we grumabe ate la e exact beer tana histalin abashante shante kadama we grumabe ate la e. Let the people of the Most High God say, blessed love, where twos and threes meet in the name of the Most High Jah. Are there so Jaja there? If Jaja never build up your house, the builder, I go build it in vain. And if Jaja never watch upon your house, the builder, the watchman, both I go feel. And I give thanks and I say unto your name. And remember that he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High Jah shall therein abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I give thanks. And I give thanks. And I give thanks. Oh, Mawu Sobolisa, Akpe Kaka. Oh, Mawu Sobolisa, Adanu Wato, Ewo Asikle Afo. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo. And my name, Blakk RASTA. Now in every traditional African home there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire there is something nutritious cooking. So many ingredients of different colors, flavors, sizes and even aromas find themselves relocated in the black pot. Now they are subjected to some amount of heating to produce some nutritious food. They put aside all their differences, yes, the shapes, the sizes, the different colors and all that, so that they would relocate from their original habitats right into the black pot so they can produce food. And interestingly, the food does not even benefit them, neither the ingredients nor the pot, but us, the eaters. Same way, the black pot represents the continent of Africa, and the ingredients in the black pot represent us as a people. We have different shapes, sizes, colors, and even different smells, different creeds and different faiths. We must put aside all these differences and come to interplay right on the continent of Africa to be able to produce development for our people, our continent, our land, putting into our minds the next generation and even beyond. We must be a tree planting generation. Yes, we have planted the tomato, the pepper, and even the onion and the maize for far too long. We just want to produce, harvest, eat, die, and go. We must be a tree planting generation, even though we know we will not live long enough to enjoy the shade of these trees. We must put at the back of our minds that the next generation coming will come and meet these trees and they will benefit from that. Remember, the trees that we see today were planted by a generation that never lived long enough to enjoy the shade of this tree. I'm speaking in parables. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. Now we are live on Pan-African TV, Africa's only Pan-African TV. We are also live on Ghana Web TV. We are live on Loud Silence TV and loud on Black Empire TV, our own TV. We are masters of Pan-Africanism on TV. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen, and I need you to call us and deal with us, do business with us. Via this business, you would prosper, and we would also prosper, so we can continue doing these things that we're doing. Now, our interest is not in politics, but in patriotism. We are looking at rewiring the minds. We're talking about the mindsets of our people. If the mindset is right, every other thing would come in place. No two ways about that. If the mindset is right, individuals will build hospitals, bridges, and even schools and roads. But if the mindset is wrong, the way it is right now, even if the schools and hospitals are built, we will steal from the schools and hospitals, destroy them, because the mindset is wrong. My brother, my sister, this is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo. And today we have so many different things to look at. Remember, we don't like to criticize, but if we must criticize, we will do that on one condition: to build and not to destroy. We are in the service of God and country. Now, the very first thing I would like to look at today is rolling on your screen. And what does it say? Watch it out. It says, Ken Ofori Atta ready to go now. Is Ken Ofori Atta ready to go now? Is he going now? What are the signs that he's ready to go? Has he said that he's going? Now, this is Ken Ofori Atta. He's the finance minister of the Republic of Ghana. Many people have said that he has failed, including top gun economists. Many people are asking for his exit for two reasons. One, he's very sick. And two, he has performed abysmally since he took office. But his argument is that, one, he was very good in the first tenure of Nana Akufo-Addo, where he served as a finance minister. In the second tenure, everything went amiss. They blame the Ukrainian war and also blame Russia on the other hand. And then they blame the so-called COVID-19. They call that the twin pandemics. But Ghanaians are saying no. This man here says he's not taking salary. He's just working pro bono. Ghanaians say thank you for working pro bono, but we don't need an inefficacious person working pro bono. We want somebody who is of quality, who can work and turn the economy around. But the president is shielding him and still keeping him in there. Now, the last time we heard about him, some rich man had gone to the parliament house trying to bribe parliamentarians to vote to have him stay and destroy the economy of this country further. Now, the president promised the whole nation that right after he's finished dealing with the IMF, he would go. First, he said, oh, don't worry, let him read the budget. Right after the budget, yes, he would go. After the budget, he said, okay, let him deal with the IMF. Because they've run to the IMF asking for how much? $3 billion American dollars to salvage the economy that these people have grounded to a halt. He's still in office, and Ghanaians are crying. Now, a founding member of the NPP, the party that is in power right now, led by Nana Akufo-Addo right now, that man is called Kwame Pienim. He's a known economist, respected all over the world. He has come out to talk against his own party. And what is he saying against his party? Watch it. Ken Ofori Atta has led Ghana's economy into the gutter. And this is Kwame Pienim talking. And the story says he is fuming with anger. Come, let's look at it together. Listen, this is a founding member of the NPP. There is no reason for him to badmouth his party. But when I see patriots like this, who will put aside partisan politics and delve into patriotism, I am very much excited. Renowned economist Kwame Pianim has accused the Akufo-Addo-led administration of superintending over the current economic challenges with no probable solutions to address them. Look at it. He says he believes that the economic managers, particularly the finance minister Ofori Atta, are responsible for Ghana's predicament and therefore wants him to apologize for the mismanagement. Speaking in an interview with Accra-based TV3, Kwame Pianim asserted that Ofori Atta's irresponsibility and recklessness, underline those, irresponsibility and recklessness, have led the country into a ditch, which now plans to undertake a debt restructuring exercise for an IMF bailout. I would have been proud as a Ghanaian to contribute to the debt restructuring exercise, but I will not contribute one peso for Ken Ofori Atta leading this. He led us into the gutter, he stressed. Kwame Pianim further questioned the rationale behind President Akufo-Addo's decision to maintain belief in the finance minister despite the economic challenges. Kwame Pianim is the one talking right now, and he's asking so many questions. He should have said, I apologize. This is the result of economic mismanagement. I apologize to the Ghanaian people. Yes, look, there are pensioners who have put their resources into government bonds. You are asking them, I'm not going to pay. Look at the exchange program and think about it carefully when you are talking to your colleagues. Ken is saying, I'm not going to pay any interest on this for these years whilst I'm Minister of Finance and whilst President Akufo-Addo is still President. But afterwards, then you are going to take a look at it. Well, I mean, you don't have to make too much meaning out of this. Dash it away. All that is talking about is very simple. It says that Ken Ofori Atta is lousy. He's irresponsible and reckless. Very strong wording, right? But he deserves it. Very irresponsible and very reckless. In fact, he says he has run the economy into a ditch. The nation is hemorrhaging, internal bleeding, which is more dangerous. My brother, my sister, watch me now. Now, Kwame Pianim wants this government to apologize for recklessly and irresponsibly driving this economy into a gutter and still standing very strong and arrogant, refusing to get rid of this finance minister, but rather giving him more posts and positions. But, my brother, my sister, hear me now. Ken Ofori Atta is getting more pressure. More and more pressure. But hear me now. Is Ken Ofori Atta going to leave? Kwame Pianim is still talking. What is Kwame Pianim saying? Watch this. He says, Ghana is in bankruptcy due to Ofori Atta's bad policies. Ghanaians will suffer for the next 30 years. In 30 years, Nana Akufo-Addo will not be alive. I don't know if I will be alive. But if I am alive, it will not be a surprise to anybody. I would have been 88 in 30 years. In fact, in 40 years, I'll be 88. In 30 years, I'll be 78. In 30 years, Nana Akufo-Addo will be how old? 110 years. In 40 years, Nana Akufo-Addo will be 120 years. I haven't seen many people who have lived up to that age. But I know many people who have lived up to 78, like Nana Akufo-Addo himself, 88, and even 98. Listen, man, this is what PNM is saying. They are running down the economy, destroyed it, and they have run us into what is called bankruptcy. And this country will never recover until after 30 years, going all the way to 40 years. In 40 years, if we all have to wait for this economy for 40 years to recover, I, at that time, will be 88 years. My taste buds would have all gone. How about you? How old are you? Let's read. Ghana is in bankruptcy. And what is he saying? Ghanaians will suffer for the next 30 to 40 years due to the bad policies of the current government that have been introduced by the finance minister Ken Ofori Atta. A renowned economist, Mr. Kwame Pienima, said he noted that Ghana is currently in bankruptcy. Remember the same Pienima who said he has run the country into a gutter economically. He's the one saying that it will take 30 to 40 years to deal with the economy. Let's read some more. Mr. Pienima, who is also a founding father, underline that, of the governing New Patriotic Party, NPP. In fact, the name of this party should be changed. They are nowhere near patriotism. They are far away from patriotism. These guys are useless guys who are just ready to destroy this nation. If you agree with me, say yes, Rasta. Are they called New Patriotic Party or Old Traitors Party? These are traitors from their great-grandfathers up till now. I don't know why this party is still called New Patriotic Party. They are Old Traitors Party. OTP. That is the renaming of this party. My brother, my sister, check it out. Now, and he says one. Mr. Pienima, who is also a founding father of the governing New Patriotic Party, said this while speaking in an interview with TV3 Spa Kwesi Asare on Wednesday, January 11, regarding the debt exchange program. For this government to allow Ken Ofori Atta to sit in front of Ghanaians to make this proposal, if Ken was genuine, when the Attorney General came with his legal opinion, which in the Commonwealth has the force of a high court order, he would have taken this document and gone to the International Monetary Fund, IMF. If indeed it is that IMF that told him to do that, I think it's unlawful. It's unconstitutional. He added, Ken Ofori Atta is saying, let us do this program, but this is badly thought out, not thought through carefully. This exchange program is like a time bomb that Ken is putting under the economy. For the next 30 to 40 years, we are going to suffer from it. It is a time bomb because he is squeezing billions of cedis from the economy. Dash. My brother, this is serious. Remember, the guy talking is not just any street boy talking. This is a renowned economist. This is a founding father of the New Patriotic Party, the party in government. There was a time he served this nation in the capacity of a finance minister. There was a time, in fact, he was the force behind the economy of this nation, the finances of this nation, under this very party. There was a time the whole NPP party was looking up to him and using him as their trump card. There was a time they touted him as the best economist in the whole country, and that we should give them the opportunity to rule so that they will bring such an economic think tank to deal with the thing. Today, that same economic think tank is saying that his party has failed. His party has thrown us into the ditch, and that it will take 30 to 40 years to recover. Why is this party still in power? These are the founding fathers. There's an old African saying that goes, if a crocodile comes up out of water to tell you that when the fish is sleeping, it closes one eye, trust it. You got to believe it. Think about it. They want him out. But would he go? The pressure is still mounting. Look at what they are saying in Parliament. Their own MPs in Parliament. Come, follow me. Watch it. Majority caucus will meet to determine fate of Ofori Atta after recess. And this is the majority speaker in Parliament, Chairman Sabonsu. What is he saying? The majority leader and minister for parliamentary affairs, Osei Chairman Sabonsu, has said that his caucus will be holding a final meeting to determine the next set of actions on their demand for the removal of Finance Minister Ken Ofori Atta. More pressure. Speaking in an Oyerepa TV interview monitored by Ghana Web, the majority leader said that the new Patriotic Party, NPP members of parliament, would engage the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, after the meeting. The decision for Ofori Atta's removal was a caucus decision. As a leader, I will be talking to the MPs on an individual basis, and we will put together their reservations. We still must have a caucus meeting upon return, after which we will meet the president, and I believe that the right thing will be done, he said in Chi. The leadership of the MPP signed an agreement with the members of parliament of the party, which obligated them to be present for the reading of the 2023 budget by Finance Minister Ofori Atta. Dash it away and come. Did you hear that? The MPs were not ready to go to the parliament, the majority in parliament, to listen to the hogwash, the useless budget that the dead horse was coming to read. But they were begged by the president and the majority leader, Osache Sabonsu, please come, sign. And the agreement is that after reading the budget, we will remove him. After reading the budget, arrogant president still came around and said, hey, don't worry, IMF is coming in, let him broker the deal. How can a dead horse be still kept in a race? But Ghanaians, the foolish Ghanaians that we've always been, we listened to an arrogant president who takes us for fool, and then we allowed him to go to the IMF and broker yet another neck-breaking deal for the nation, as if that was not enough. When the trades minister resigned to go into his own political campaign to be president, Mr. President did not find anybody to replace him, albeit temporarily. He took the same finance minister. He has so much faith in him. I don't know what cover-up this finance minister is having for the president. But this president is a stinking president whose activities are so rotten. The pressure is on. Ken Ofori Atta, is he ready to go now? He has no choice. Either he leaves or he will be removed. That is what is going on. But these MPs in parliament, I don't trust them. Some of them behave like they are overdosed on apeteshi. They talk sometimes as if they have no brains. They will come in with so much activity. Andrew Liversalt, they rise to the top with anger. And then all of a sudden, brrr, down. No power, no energy, nothing is happening. And you sit back and wonder, what have they been drinking? Apeteshi or what? To God be the glory. We shall see what will happen this time around. But remember, Ghanaians also have a say. A lot of Ghanaians are angry. Ghanaians have been demonstrating in Tamale and some other places. My brother, my sister, nobody is happy in this country. And I pray that they are able to do the needful before some kind of uprising takes this country up. I don't want to see it, but I want to see you too, as long as this government is not behaving. And all other governments in Africa, it doesn't matter which country, as long as the leaders are misbehaving, the people must show them that they have the ultimate power. They must demonstrate, fight on, stand firm, and be able to remove these nitwits in power. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushodomo, where we speak truth to power. When we return, we shall talk some more. Hey! Wayo!
Go on, Skipper George.
Blakk Pot, Kukushodomo.
This is the Blakk Pot, and remember, we don't talk politics. What we talk is called patriotism. Come here! Next thing I would like to look at is flowing. It's coming rapidly. Yes, like a bullet from Otagon. Puyaka, it says only God can solve Ghana's economic woes. And that's President Nana Akufo-Addo saying, please kindly leave so that we know that it's God who is sitting there. You cannot be sitting there and be telling us it is God who is ruling. When we went to the ballot paper, we didn't see the face of God there. It was a bald head we saw there. And we thumb printed and asked you to come. Today, if you have given up and you are saying it's only God, then leave so that we know that It is now a theocracy. You have founded a government of gerontocrats. It's a gerontocracy. Now he's turning it into a theocracy. To God be the glory. Mr. President, God is ashamed of you. God is very ashamed of this president. This is the president who wants to build a demonic, bloody cathedral. Later in the show, we will get to that dirty cathedral. This is the man who is always talking God. Every criminal is talking God. From a little age, when I used to travel around, every trotro I sat in public transport. Any man who came in there and started talking God, I knew he was a thief. The next thing, he will pull out 6 million herbs from his pocket. Each one is able to take care of 7 trillion sicknesses. All over Ghana. I don't know what it is in Nigeria, and I believe it to be worse. Omoluwe. Moluwe. You know Moluwe? It's the same as Trotro in Ghana. You sit in a Moluwe, Trotro, public transport. Before you realize, I don't know if it's a trick between the driver and these charlatans. Before you realize it's in there, when the car is parked, then he starts preaching. He will preach, he will preach, he will preach. In the middle of his preaching, he brings out a bag, a polythene bag, and he has some herbs in there. One herb is able to treat 7 trillion sicknesses, from diarrhea all the way through to headache, to coccidiosis, to bronchitis, and pulmonary disease, and oh my God. They use the name of God to rob and steal. That's what Mr. President is doing. He knows this is a godly country. It's a country that claims to love God, yet we are some of the most sinful people. We are church elders. We give tithe to the church, yet we steal from the people. Even the gays and the lesbians who you don't respect, who you call people who will not go to heaven, they don't do this. When you go to America, when you go to England and some other places where homosexuality is allowed, the gays, a lot of them are some of the most honest people you can find on the streets of America. They will not steal from you. They will not lie to you most of the time. But over here, even clergy would lie. Malams will see the thing clearly and they are lying. It looks like lying is our middle name. Yet the people who you have relegated to hell before they are judged, they are some of the most honest people, and they are those who are even giving you aid to help your dirty criminal leaders survive. Only God can solve Ghana's economic woes. Nana Akufo-Addo is saying, maybe I quoted him wrongly. This is from City Newsroom. And he says, economic crisis, we need a divine intervention. Akufo-Addo tells clergy. He goes to the clergy, the pastors, the Muslims, the religious people. And this is what he tells them. Run the story. What does it say? President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has called on the clergy to remember him and his administration in prayers. Mr. Akufo-Addo said only divine intervention will help the country come out of its current economic predicaments. Dash it away. Every thief begins by talking about God. I've said that already. Every Ghanaian knows this. Hey! Sometimes I'm standing outside trying to get some fresh air. A man comes over and then the first thing he starts to say, God bless you. God bless you. I was just passing by, and in fact, God spoke to me that I should come and greet you. You are a very good man. God is going to bless you. God is going to bless you. I keep saying, okay, amen. I keep saying, amen. He says, yes, if I just passed you, didn't you see that I passed you? But God spoke to me and told me to come and greet you. That's why I came to greet you. You are a good man. I'm sure you've been taking good care of the people in your area. I'm quiet and I'm watching him. Thank you, sir, I'm going. Then as he's walking, he comes back again and says, oh, you know what? help me. I just traveled from, Swedru to this place and I ran out of cash. If you can give me something. How many people have done that to you? A lot of people. There's not a single soul in Ghana who has not tasted that kind of nonsense. If a gay man or a lesbian or an American, Japanese or Chinese needs your help, he will come up to you and tell you straight away that he needs your help. He doesn't need to concoct a story. He doesn't need to bring a God figure into it. That is honesty. In the trotro is the same thing. Everywhere you go, my brother, my sister, they use the name of God to rob you. Even in our movies, the writer of the story will bring in some story that does not make sense. And to end the story, which he cannot end, he will bring ghosts and God in it. One man can stand there, wave one hand, and 6 million people are dead. One man can fly. He's a human being, yet he's flying. Mystical things, because they can't end their story on a sensible note. So when the president has lost all senses, he will bring the God figure. I dislike people who should be applying physical to deal with the problem when they are applying spiritual. Even the Bible says prayer alone won't do it. Hard work alone won't do it. The two of them are Siamese twins. Yet in this country, it's only about prayer. All the young men and women are on the mountain at Achia. And when you go there, my brother, you don't need any sound system. Atukum, just put a beat onto it. Boom, ta, ta. You will get some good sound. Aye, 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 aye. The following day is supposed to write an exam. Instead of reading his book, he's there, aye, 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 aye. He goes and comes out, he feels, he blames it on his grandmother who is a witch. Prayer alone will not do it. Hard work alone will not do it. Marry the two. Put them on a tangent. Equilibrium. Why? So they realize that we are godly people. And for that matter, they bring charlatans and thieves around us to use the same God to rob us. Listen to what the president is saying. He has lost hope. God has to break through the heavens and come. For that matter, he wants to build a cathedral. Hey, tell this story in 10 years to your children. They will look at you as idiots. What did you do to that? I don't want to use that word. So, look, in 10 years, your children would go to school and say, well, especially those of you whose children will go to school abroad. We had this president, and that president, he ran down the country and he was building a cathedral at the time people were sick from a certain deadly pandemic. And then when the economy was all down with all the taxes, he couldn't still make it. He said he was building a cathedral so we could all go in there and thank God. Everybody would turn and look at your child. Is he lying? Now it might make a little sense to some people. But after some time, this is sheer foolishness. We voted for a human being to lead us. We didn't vote for God. We all believe in God. Don't make God so useless and cheap. God should only come in when the human factor fails. And when the human factor fails with you, it doesn't mean that is the end. There are better people with better acumen who can do it. The fact that you have failed doesn't mean everybody else is going to fail. You are a useless government, an arrogant government that is always talking God because you have started a story that you cannot complete like Kuma would. These people, some of them just go, in fact, to the movie scene, the location. Say, oh, start acting. Say anything. Whilst you are acting, then they start to bring bits and pieces in. When they can't end it, a ghost will end it for them. A ghost can do anything. A ghost can do anything in a movie. That's why they have part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, all the way to part 6 million. They are there. Chair 1 in the part 1. Oh, na Ofori baye. Ofori no baye no. And ofa banku. Na banku no so na edu. But Ofori de sa Ofori bonsam. Ofa banku no and edani fufuo. Oh na fufuo no dani akpla ne fetiri dechi. Na akpla de sa oni say agbefo na. Oh na agbefo ba na ana omusa agbaja du. Oh na saman baye no. Dere no ye shepa 2. When we return, some more.
Blackpot. Coco show, man.
This is the Blakk Pot, aka Coco Show. And here we speak truth to power. We don't do politics. What we do is called patriotism. Pick our numbers on the screen. Do business with us. The more you do business with us, the more you prosper us, and the more we prosper you. We are not asking for charity. We are doing the work of the Most High. As long as we have breath, we praise the Most High. As long as we have the energy, we praise the Most High. And follow us on our socials. Yes, we are on Twitter. We are also on Facebook. We are also on Instagram. Please bring our socials there. Yes, my brother, my sister, that's where we are. Follow us everywhere you would find us. And we are ready to do business with you. Check it out. We are Black Empire Media. You will find us on Instagram. You will find us on YouTube. And subscribe to our YouTube page. You will never miss any of our stories. Every week, we come to you 5 times from Monday to Friday with very hot stories. African stories. Stories that will develop us. Stories that are not biased. This is the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushunomo, where we speak truth to power. Run the second thing. What is he saying? Student girls sacked for insulting president. Nana Akufo-Addo is being insulted all over Ghana. In fact, in some foreign corridors, he's also insulted. He has actually disappointed Ghanaians. When he came in, he had so much energy. His first tenure of office, he did what he could do. It was abysmal, but this is the most abysmal second term. He spoke like a warrior, but now we know that he's a cowardly cat. He's a rat. These girls that you see there insulted the president. They are from Chiana Secondary School in the Upper East region in the Katsina Nankana district. I know Chiana. If you don't remember Chiana at all, you will remember the Chiana Pio, who was the Speaker of Parliament, Per Ronald Ayagitani. He's now gone. Per Ronald Ayagitani. He was a powerful man in the days of Rawlings. Spoke in parliament, everybody loved him. He was from China. Not China, Chiana. Chiana. These schoolgirls used unprintable words on the president, insulted the president for performing abysmally. I was one of the first to come on this show and condemn this. Yes, the president is a lousy president, but to insult the president the way these girls did, and many people were shocked. They said, Blakk Rasta, but you come in and then you talk against the president. I said, I talk against the president. I don't insult the president. I don't look at personalities. I look at the content of what they do. It's not about personalities. That's why I cannot remember who is minister for what and who is. No! I look at what they are doing. I condemn this. These beautiful girls from China Secondary School insulted the president. In fact, I was looking for a way to reach out to these girls and tell them, you know what? Write letters of apology first and foremost to the president. Write to your school and then write to the people of Ghana. 3 letters. You have insulted the seat of government. It's very bad. It's not. But they came out. GES and the rest of them, including the regional minister, came out and said that these girls were going through a certain counseling. There was a counseling for them. And I was happy. Oh, they would bring the girls, sit them down, get them a counselor to find out why they decided to behave this way. Because this is terrible. They videotaped themselves insulting the president. Look at what they said in the council. Watch the headline. The council. Not this. Council. Counseling. Watch this and listen to me. Please listen to me when I talk. China SHS students in viral video to be counseled prior to investigation. Did you hear that? To be counseled. Bring back that headline. Bring it back. Look at the date. 18th November 2022. And it was published at 1:40 a.m. early morning of 18th November by My Joy Online. That was when it was published. And it was published under education, not criminal activities. So they were going to counsel. Better still, advise these little girls, take them through some counseling and see what really happened. And the source was GNA. Roll the story. What does it say? It says what? Come here. It says the Upper East Regional Directorate of the Ghana Education Service has referred the students of China Senior High School, SHS, who misconducted themselves in a viral video to the guidance and counseling unit of the school. Some female students of the school in the Kasina Nankana West District, in a video that went viral, rained insults on the president, Akufo-Addo, using unprintable words. Following their conduct, the management of the GES at the national level, in a statement, condemned the act and apologized to the president on behalf of the students, school, and members of the public. Dash it away. Dash it. That's what they did. First, GES, Ghana Education Service, condemned the act. And then the students were taken all the way for guidance and counseling. So we expected that something would come out of it. But today, look at the new headline. 8 China SHS students dismissed for insulting Akufo-Addo. And it's what? 12th January 2023. They have been dismissed. So what happened at the counseling? Was there the need for the counseling? At the counseling, what did they find? That they were useless students and would never do well in school, therefore they should go home and learn a trade? What happened? What went into the counseling? Who was their counselor? What did they do there? Did GES resort to the results of the counseling? Roll that story. What does it say? It says the Ghana Education Service, GES, has dismissed 8 students of the Chiana Senior High School in the Upper East region for allegedly insulting President Akufo-Addo. Prior to the dismissal, the students had been on suspension. Suspension. Were they on suspension and going for the counseling? Were they all from the region? Again, were they on suspension as in they were not going to classroom, but they were still housed in the boarding house? Can we get to know that? Prior to the dismissal, the students had been on suspension, and I intentionally showed you the date. It was November. So they've been on suspension all this while. The GES says its investigation into the incident confirmed that the students used unsavory language against the president. It has thus described the actions of the students as very undesirable and contrary to the acceptable standards of the conduct generally required of any student in Ghana's educational system. The GES had earlier apologized to President Akufo-Addo over the comments by the students. We wish to inform the general public that the students in the video have been identified as second-year students of China Senior High School in the Katsina Nankana West District. Management of the GES wishes to extend their sincerest apology to the President and the general public on behalf of the students and school, says portions of the statement issued on November 14, 2022. That's what they said. But today they have sacked them. Come here. It's very sad. Who took this decision at JS? So you have sent them home. So that what? Do you want to punish them? Couldn't they have relocated them to another school? Separate them and put them in different schools. It's enough punishment. It's like your child in the house misbehaves. And then you alienate the child into a small room. Lock up the child in there for a number of minutes. Be there alone. You can't play with the rest of the children. You don't send that child out, disown the child and send the child out and say, don't come here again. Illiteracy is all over the place. What is the illiteracy rate of Ghana? So high. People go to the university and come out. You meet them, and when you are speaking to them, it looks like they just entered kindergarten. It's true. We go to school and it's all about theory. Nobody is interested in the practical aspect of the thing. So we end up still falling on the Chinese who don't speak a word of English to come and do for us what our educational system should have taught us. Even going to school, we are not safe. There are educated illiterates, let alone sacking these students and sending them home. Jesus, shame on you. You don't know your work. You are a shameful outfit. So the best you could do was to sack them. You couldn't have said, oh, after the counseling, we have decided that the students will be transferred to different schools. Or better still, they will continue going for classes as day students. For 1 year, they will not write when it's time for them to write. That means you are actually suspending their writing for 1 year. When they see the rest of the students writing and going to the university and they are still in school now trying to write, it will be enough punishment. But you ask them to go and sit home because you are dumb. You have no common sense. These are the people who are the GES. What didn't you do in school? Some of you were gay in school. Some of you stole goats of the senior house master and made in krakra in the garden, using the garden eggs of the school farm. Some of you were caught having sex with animals. You were not rusticated. They punished you in one way or the other, giving you a human face. This one, you have given them a beast's face. Shame unto you. But I know what is going to happen. The president, is going to write to the GES and say, I accept the apology. It was hurting to hear little children, the age of my great-grandchildren, talking like this to me. But in the spirit of the free SHS, all students should go to school. Please immediately relocate them in different schools. The president listens to the show. He watches this. In the next few days, watch. That's what will happen. That's if the president himself is in his right senses. Now that he has gone downhill. That's what it is. China. Kachare. You China people, we are all slaves. We are going to come and catch all of you and take you to Tumu. We'll tie you, all of you. Slaughter you. Tumu. You are coming. Kachare. Hey! Wayo!
Skipper George.
Blackpot. Coco show them.
This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Next story. And he says what? Watch it. Killing millions to make billions at DVLA. Driver Vehicle Licensing Authority. They are those in charge of our licensings on the road. Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA. In a recent documentary, we saw things that we didn't want to see. There's no patriotism in this country anymore. Nobody is loyal to the country anymore. Everybody is ready to milk this cow of a nation. And it hurts me. And these are people the Ghanaian taxpayer is paying. Having taken you to school to make you a better human being, they are killing millions on the road to make billions. Watch the story. DVLA interdicts 4 staff implicated in corruption watches Money Over Human Lives documentary. Money Over Human Lives documentary. This is almost like CATHEDRAL. Roll the guns. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA, has interdicted 4 members of staff who were implicated in the corruption watches Money Over Human Lives investigative piece. The investigation, which was carried out in 2 regions, the Greater Accra Regional Office located at 37 and the Tamale Regional Office in the Northern Region, showed a lot of them engaged in terrible activities. The Corruption Watch Project is an agreement between the Multimedia Group Limited and CDD Ghana. The documentary exposed the breaches in the 48-hour mandatory training at an accredited driving school, the computerized based theory examination in traffic driving test and road signs, etc., etc. It captured DVLA officials of different categories, with some operating through agents as well as security men who solicit money to outwit the official mandatory requirements for personal financial gains, in total disregard for the danger their sanctions pose to human lives. Dash! Come here. These are people who can sell a license to you. They don't care whether you can drive the car or not. You go on the road, and the next thing we see is gone too soon. They are the same people who would cry that there are too many witches in the country killing us on the road. They will blame accidents on the bad roads, yet they will never be part of the problem. That's why George Jara in those days sang, and is still relevant today. Driver Banza, we kunkro for me. Driver Papa dear, of us. And he raps in it. What a license and pam para. Ochina we a driver pam pam para. Era papu pu pu. Hey. What a license and Ochina we a driver. Udimirika pu pu. Wrong overtaking pam pam para. Articulator be no in the tinabano. Hey, nkro for me. Hey, driver Banza, we kunkro for me. Driver Papa dear, of us. My brother, he sang it several years ago. I didn't have a beard, not even one. My mustache was 0. Like somebody I know whose mustache is only here, 2 strands. Listen, on a more serious note, brethren, we are seeing too many deaths on our street. We have seen some deaths that broke our hearts. I've seen little children die on the streets, and I can't take this. When I see things like this, God is my witness. It takes me years to be able to go on those roads. I feel so sad and so weighed down anytime I go on those roads and I even think about them. I don't forget things easily. So I do not want to be in places that will make my spirit heavy. That's why I don't work with friends who make me sad. I don't like any environment that is so heavy laden with sorrow. So when I enter into any environment and I see that people have moody faces, I start to crack some jokes even though I'm not a comedian. Sometimes I give out just to see smiles. If the smiles are not coming, I exit. My spirit absorbs energies around, and I know myself. DVLA, how much money? I hear. You all want to build houses like those in customs. You want to build houses? By the God that I serve, all of you who are involved in this, you will build the houses. But whilst you and your children, no, I take out those children. You and all your accomplices are in the house. The house will break down on you. They won't even find your body to bury. You are wicked. You are wicked. Very wicked. The first accident I had from Tia Amade Secondary School, Kumasi, I remember, and I'm going to be brief with this. From Kumasi, we sat in an oven. Those days we used to call it wakrafie. Yakrafie ampa. On the way from Kumasi, Alaba, I remember. You want the year? I can bring it out easily. My brother, from Tia Amade Secondary School, from 1, going home during the vacation to see my family. The driver was firing. The car owner was in the car. And when we got to Kintampo to eat, the car owner came out and was talking to the driver. Oh, why are there? What fire pa? What fire? Hey, what fire? Yes, I bet to my corner about back quick. As a little child, I just like to listen and look around. I saw this driver go behind a kiosk and he drank something that I suspected was apetish. And when he returned, the fire was double. But the pot-bellied owner of the car was fast asleep. Me, I can never sleep in any car. And the plane is worse. If the plane is even flying for 1 million hours, my eyes will be like this, like the eyes of a witch. I will never over close that. I fear planes. Anything that moves when I'm in it, forget about sleeping. The driver was firing. In no time, the air was coming in. Everybody was sleeping. My eyes were like this. I realized the driver also dancing with his head. Was he dancing to the music or what? All of a sudden, I saw that the car had veered off and was about to enter into the bridge. Hey, driver, I shouted. And when in his confusion, he was just turning the car around. Boom. The rest of the story, part 2. Kumawood, part 2. That should bring the last story. That driver, later when one of the passengers spoke with him, he said he had no license. In fact, his master actually was ill, but it was Christmas season. And this car owner forced him. He was a driver's mate. So the car owner now became a mate. And he who should have been a mate without a license was the one driving. But interestingly, the car owner went to buy a license for him to drive the car from DVLA. President's Cathedral in dirty deal. My time is up. I have to go. Show the story. What is this story? Ablakwa has said something. Why did National Cathedral pay 2.6 million to Accra-based crèche? Roll the story quietly. We are going. We are done. It says, Member of Parliament for North Tongue is on his crusade to demand accountability on the construction of the controversial National Cathedral. In his last epistle, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa is questioning some alleged payments to a purported crèche based in Dawenya in Accra. According to a Facebook post, the legislator revealed that a whooping 2.6 million Ghana cedis was dished out to a company named JNS Talent Center Limited. This, per his expose, did not include the nature of work done to merit such an amount. According to the incorporation details in my possession, JNS Talent Center Limited's given registration is this. Its directors are Johannes Eshan, Sheila Eshan, and Kwabna Edujemfi. The registered principal activity of JNS Talent Center Limited is listed as Talent and Skills Development Training, he wrote on Wednesday. Dash. When you read the story, he decided to call the school to ask one of these directors, what did you do? And the president and his people are giving you money from the National Cathedral Fund. 2.6 million. Oh, me, I cannot say, oh, my director would have to be the one who will talk. Oh, me, I don't know. Ping, 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 ping. So when you look at this, the president vowed that no matter what, he will build the cathedral. Is it a way of siphoning money to give to some of these crooks around so that they will come back and give it to them? Do you get it? Do you understand? Oh, we've paid this money to these people. They've given us a receipt. We've paid it to these people. But before they pay to you, they tell you that we need money for the cathedral, but there are some demons fighting us. We have to find a way of raising that money. So we will say that you gave us this job, or you came to do this job for us, and we are giving you this. We'll go deeper into it. In the interim, my name is Blakk RASTA. I love you. I appreciate you. When we meet again, we shall talk some more. Hasta la vista. Happy weekend. Hey! Wayo!